Boom.
Biddly biddly bo. Yes, here we go. Ain't nobody down round here. We're not messing about today, boys and girls. Quick preview. You know what time it is. Get that badger in and on and over here. We hit 31 members last night. We didn't have 31 members last year. We've only just opened the memberships up. But, well, for the past sort of however many, I don't know how long it doesn't matter how long it is, but we've hit 31 members. Ming59's been handing them out like Santa Claus, which is much appreciated. Shout out to everybody that jumped in on the live last night. Went really well. Stayed with you for about 2 hours. Ended up a bit tiddly, to be perfectly honest. Shout out to Andrew Thompson, Nige D and Wilco Whites. Shout out to Andrew Thompson, Nige D and Wilco Whites. So tomorrow, Blackburn, half-1 kick-off, bit of a pain in the ass. I will be live for that game. As soon as I get home, I'll go live. I can't promise that I'll be on from 12:30. I normally go on an hour before the kick-off, but as soon as I get home, I'm going to go live, which I put on my live yesterday. I didn't know whether I'd go for it, but I'm going to go live immediately as soon as I get home, even if it's 5 minutes into kick-off, whatever. So if you're hanging about with me, much appreciated. I'll try be online as quickly as possible. Be interesting to see who starts wide, because obviously we've been rotating James, Solomon, Nonto at the moment. Ramazani looks sharp as a tack, Joe Biden style. Not Joe Biden style, actually, but that's what everybody said about Joe Biden, isn't he? Sharp as a tack, and then bloke with brown bread, but that's a different story. Ramazani did actually look sharp as a tack. He looked like he'd been held back a little bit, I felt like. You know, like when he's coming back from injury, sometimes you feel like he could probably get going a little bit sooner than he did. Probably ready for 5 minutes, 10 minutes in the previous game, but he's been held and he's like ready to go. He looked all over it, like he's so sharp. He looks like he wants to turn every time he gets on ball. We were talking yesterday in the live, who else can play the 10 role other than Aronson? And I think, personally, Ramazani would be absolutely immense in that 10 role. I don't know if he's a number 10 sort of going forward. Well, going forward in the pitch he is, but going forward in terms of like, you know, Premier League style once we go up as champions this year. But it'd be interesting to see if it, you know, because Aronson's going to need a rest at some point as well. And I think to switch it up won't be such a bad thing. Faki was talking about rotation with the wingmen, but he also spoke about the fact that he swapped Rothwell and Tanaka over so that, you know, Rothwell was sort of pushing down the right-hand side a little bit more because he's been looking to sort of drive down the left-hand side at the moment as Rothwell predominantly since he's come into the starting lineup. But I don't think it's necessarily a bad idea. I don't think that's too much of a switch up either, to be perfectly honest. Whereas Ramazani in the 10 role, that is a massive switch up. It also gives us the ability to get Ramazani in because people are going to really start calling for Ramazani to be in the starting lineup, which, to be honest, with the way he looks, you know, it's a legitimate concern that he won't be playing enough football for us. Yeah, he's the closest thing to Rutter that we've got at the club, I'd say. But I actually think Solomon can play in the 10. Nonto can definitely play in the 10. To be fair to Dan James, he can play in the 10. I just think he's slightly wasted. The transformation James has made since he got to the club for me is absolutely tremendous. He's gone full 180 for me. Like, I actually didn't like Dan James. I think it's because he went to Scum and stuff and I struggled with it. He didn't come. It wasn't his fault that he didn't sign when he were at Swansea, but... You know, that's what. But there was something about his face. I remember him getting a couple of goals against us, and all like. It used to do my head in a little bit. It used to get Angry Mad Gav going. And I'm going to get shot here, no doubt, because I think people get confused between my favourite player and the best player at the club. But he's fast becoming my favourite player at the club, I think. You know, he's so mint, and everybody keeps saying at this level, and I'm not so sure. I think that's doing him a disservice. I think if you're looking at Dan James, he's never actually got a proper opportunity in the Premier League. He played for Man United, and he actually got used more than people let on with Man United. He was more effective than people let on. Like, I mean, Solskjaer, for whatever it was worth, actually rated him really quite highly. Spoke really well of him and stuff. Dan James comes across really well. He did the interview after the game saying, you know, that whoever starts in the starting lineup, it really doesn't matter. We're all in this team. We're all in fine form, and you know that we just get to business, which is true. But I felt Dan James when he scored the goal against Luton the other night, he looked like it meant more than just sort of third goal. You know, closing off the game. That was very much for himself, which is what you want as well. You know, he wants to be back in the starting lineup. I think he'll start him personally tomorrow. Be interesting to see if he drops Solomon. Not drops. I'm reluctant to say drops at this level. People saying that Ramazani will start. I'd be very, very surprised if coming back from injury when we've got such a breadth of width. We saw Mint out wide with Solomon, Nonto and James. We don't need Ramazani right now. I believe Ramazani will come into the squad, into the starting lineup, because I think he's probably going to be our most effective winger, truth be told. Just from the little bits that we've seen of him. But he just looks like he's got that little bit, especially when games are a bit shitty, a bit niddly, a bit, Rutter lost the ball a lot. But, you knew we could actually turn on a sixpence, and I don't know why I said sixpence, I hate that saying, but turn on a sixpence and be aware, and get at the back line and stuff. Just something a little bit different, like he looks like he can affect the game in different ways. But so, yeah, I think James will start. I think it'll probably be for Solomon on the basis that I think we should rotate Solomon. And then we've got a week to get at Borough, haven't we, which is good stuff. Borough obviously a decent side as well. Blackburn are 8th in league. They've won the last 2, but then they got beat the 3 before that, which I've spoke about to no end, that every team in league's form is very similar. It's like 1-2, lost 2, drawn 1, or 1-2, lost 3, lost 3, 1-2. Do you know what I mean? It's always very like... No, but very few clubs are getting battered every week, and very few clubs are sort of winning every single week. So there's obviously, apart from like the top 2, us and Sheffield are on a pretty decent run. Sunderland have got like 5 draws on bounce. Bottom at league will be obviously losing the majority of games, but you get what I'm saying. So Blackburn have got a lot to play for. There'll be about 7,000 fans going there, which is pretty mint. It'll be an early start for them, but I'm sure they'll make most of it. They beat Borough 1-0 the other night. They beat Cardiff 3-1, so, close game against Borough, but Borough are a good side. That's a good victory. But then they got beat to Stoke. They got beat to Sheffield, both 2-0. Sheffield's obviously, hate to say it, but my man Wilder, that's to be expected of Blackburn, really. And then they drew to West Brom, and they got beat to Watford. They got beat to Watford, and then they drew to West Brom. That's going in backwards order, not chronological. So, yeah, they can turn up against a good, decent side. They can get beat to it. It just is what it is. We'll see what they come out with. 3 points have been massive, isn't it? We're also 6 home wins in a row, which is pretty mint. Such a strong bench coming off at bench. You got Wobber, coming on. I know Wobber's a big goof. It looks like a big bit of a donkey, but he got booed on as well, which I think is a bit harsh, but I think he's just got to take it and ride it out. To be honest, I think Wobber will be looking for the first door out of here. Truth be told, Faka, we're talking about January sales as well, like whether or not we'll be looking in the transfer market. And I'll be honest, once we get Gruev and Ampadu back, I'm not in any. I know people just love signings, and new's always better, as we learnt the other day. New is always better. Get someone new in, they're always better. But I don't think we particularly need anyone. We get Gruev and Ampadu back. We've got Wobber as backup at centre-back. Wobber as backup even at left-back. Byram, who can play right and left-back. Bogle's slightly exposed in that sense. I think Bogle's come on leaps and bounds, but that's a different topic. I think he's been brilliant past few games. Brilliant ball to James for Dinko at keeper. Brilliant stop as well from Struick. Just want to slam that in there. Yeah. We're slightly thin on the right back position, because you're asking Byram to be able to play both sides, which he can do, but he's also quite injury prone. Wobber was singing Marching On Together as well, which is, I don't know whether he knew he was singing it or not, but he didn't seem to know the camera on him, and he was like, Marching On Together. So, that is what it is. There was a nice moment in a uncut video as well with Farker, with a young kid, little lad who we were just signing shirt for or whatever. That was a right nice moment. I like my man Farker. I'm all into it. But yeah, by the time we get, we've got Rothwell, Tanaka, Gruev, Ampadu and Gruev both to come back. Ampadu should be back in the next couple of weeks. Quiet January. Like Farker says, we'll stay awake. If something comes in, then we go for it. If something comes up, it must come out. Sam Byron probably won't start, I don't think, tomorrow, which I think is a bit unlucky for him, but he's obviously picked up a bit of a knock in Luton game. So Luton were really poor, weren't they? Really, really poor. But yeah, I'll drop in tomorrow, guys. Drop us a comment, like, subscribe, do all that stuff, because every time I say that, it annoys one guy that says that I shouldn't ask for him, because apparently at some point in the video 2 years ago I said that I'd never ask for a like and a subscriber, which I don't think that's ever been the case. But if you find it, clip it, send it, We're in. We're on. We're over. 3 points tomorrow. I actually think it'd be quite a tricky game, not on the basis that Blackburn are decent and third game in 6 days is a big ask. But with a couple of changes, I think we'll be... Well, not a couple of changes. I think, you know, Nonto, Solomon switched out for James. Nonto left. I think we'll be laughing. Ramazani to come on, Solomon to come on. You got Bamford, Joseph to come on. Solid stuff, boy.
Boom.
JackCity, bitch. JackCity, bitch. Hey!
I don't wanna play no games. No, I don't wanna play no games. No, I don't wanna hear your promises. You do you and I'll do me. That's just the way it is. Don't wanna ever feel surprised. That's why I ask no.